diesel vehicle.
This is real life.
One time he did say, I'll be there in 10 minutes, and he actually was there in 10 minutes.
Wow.
But it was so rare that like, I had to call it out to him, like, what was the difference this time?
This rain, because he's here talking about, no, it is not the rain you're used to. It is not the rain that you're thinking about. This is bullet. It's coming down by force.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, it will carry you away.
You'll likely survive. You'll be fine. It's just, you know, you may have some challenges a few hours later. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Joannis or Joe Hatagwa. I'm a Sierra Leonean American living here in West Africa. I'm in Sierra Leone at the moment, and I'm back with Mariama Forbes. One thing we didn't mention in the last video is that, Mariama, you're from the UK, right? Obviously you're Sierra Leonean, but you've lived in the UK. I've lived in the US, and so we're gonna give our perspective on 10 more things we wish we knew before we came to Sierra Leone. So we did top 10 things before, and these are gonna be 10 additional things that we think are gonna help you. So if you're making the decision to either visit or move, you definitely wanna watch this video. Alright, so these are in no particular order. These are just 10 more things we think you need to know and that we wish we knew before we came. Alright, so at number 10, we are on fruits and vegetables. So I have two things to say about this. Number one, I as a vegan, I eat mostly fruits and vegetables. Sierra Leoneans do put different veggies in different meals, but it is a little harder sometimes to find that here. And our fruits and vegetables are a little different from what we see in other parts of the world. I think places that we've come from, US, and I'm guessing the UK is the same way, they're genetically modified, right? Because produce is a big business in the US, and so what they tend to do is make them much larger or without seeds. So they do look differently in some places there versus here. And I would say it's really hard to come by. But with the look, I mean, you had some things to say about how they look, right?
Yeah, like for me, when I saw a cucumber, like in the UK, cucumbers about like that big. And the first time I saw one here, they're like this big. And I'm like, and I looked at it and I was like, what is that? Mom was like, oh, cut it up and put it in a salad. And I'm like, that is not a cucumber. What are you doing with that?
Yeah.
But it tastes way better. You can tell that it's real organic cucumber that you're eating. It's much more refreshing, has more water in there. First of all, when you get given the fruits, like for example, a carrot or a salad leaf, you literally see the stem. You know what I mean? It's taken from the root and it's been given to you, so it's as organic as it gets. And I know I made that face when he was saying he's a vegan, but I'm just like, it's very rare you come across Sierra Leonean vegans in Sierra Leone. So, but it's not difficult for you, is it? Because there's fruits and vegetables everywhere.
We here, I love jollof rice, and we here with our fried rice and our jollof rice, they put vegetables in it. That's one of the differences between Ghana. They don't always put vegetables in their jollof rice. So I'm just saying, if we're asking who has the best jollof rice, So yeah, it's not too difficult because there are fruits and vegetables around. Now, certain things are a little harder to find. I'm a big mango fan, and so they do have mangoes here, but sometimes they're a little harder to find because some of those things sometimes have to be exported or they have to come from up country. Overall, though, fruits and veggies here are much healthier because they come straight from the ground and not genetically modified.
So we are going to number 9. This is the one where I've got some videos on my Instagram of me screaming going down these roads because like Sierra Leone is shaped like a mountain. It is known as a mountain country. You know what I mean? Like everywhere you go, you see houses being built up a mountain, like literally, no joke. So knowing that it's like that, obviously you're gonna have rocky roads, and the roads, when I say they're rocky, they are rocky. Like you will find, like if you take a keke or you take a bike, even if you're in a 4x4 car, you will be shaking, and depending where you live, you know, the road may be like where a cliff is and there's still like rocks there and you find yourself just maneuvering around. But the good thing that we have to say is the roads have improved in Sierra Leone. So it's not every single road you're going to find that is rocky, but you're still going to come across some old roads which are rocky. So be prepared, be ready for that, because it's just what it is over here.
So the government takes care of the main roads, right? Which I guess is probably the same in other places. But where you have some of the roads that are like off the beaten path or down like a specific street where just some houses are, more residential areas, that's up to the people in that area to fix. And what you find a lot of times is those people don't work together to fix those roads. And so you do have issues with that, especially if you're building. So I'm building a house right now. We have to come together as a community to put that road together. And so at least the road right by my house, I'm just gonna build it myself, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna have to rely on other people, and that's not always the best thing to do because they just do it. All right, so we're now at number 8. So if you remember my video I did with the top 10 things in Ghana, we had a thing called Ghana Man Time, GMT. In Sierra Leone, something very similar, Salone Man Time. And that's men and women, not just men, but we tend to move at a slower pace here in West Africa. So that means if you're waiting for someone to come pick you up, for instance, or you and some friends are planning to go out together, especially those who've been here for a while, concept of time is a little bit lost on very many people here. So my driver likes to say, I come, like meaning I'm coming, right? I'll be there soon, right? But I'll say like, how far are you? How long before you come? I come. I go be there with Gigi song. I go reach Gigi song. I go reach. So when he says that, right, that I just need to think, all right, give myself 30 minutes, because come can mean 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes. One time he did say, I'll be there in 10 minutes, and he actually was there in 10 minutes.
Wow.
But it was so rare that like, I had to call it out to him, like, what was the difference this time? But it's because he was literally like 5 minutes away. And he did another 5 minutes of saying his goodbyes, and then it was a 5-minute walk, so he actually did come in 10 minutes. So that's the other thing too, is like Sierra Leoneans, when they're leaving somewhere to go elsewhere, there's a lot of like long goodbyes, and so that kind of leads some time to the length of time it takes to show up somewhere.
But just be prepared. Things move very slowly here, and you have to do a lot of sometimes shouting to get things done. But I will shout, nobody don't worry.
Yeah, and just practice patience. Exercise patience. That's really what, that's the big pro tip here. It's just exercise and patience.
Exactly. So we are at number 7. I'm sure some of you have heard of this one anyway, when it comes to light turning off constantly, and the annoying sound of generator. It's quite a harsh sound. It's a sound where it could potentially keep you up all night, because it's just making that annoying sound. So it's just be aware and know that, you know, light will just randomly turn off, and you have to have a generator in your house so it can take over when the light gets turned off. But when the generator comes on now, you have to deal with the sound, which is super, super duper annoying. And at random times, light can turn off. So one thing I practice is, even if I'm going for like a shower, or if I'm going into my room, like say if it's past 7 or the sun has gone down, I always carry my phone with me. Just in case in that midst of that moment, light turns off, I have some form of light with me. So that's advice I'd give. What about you? Yeah,
and I would say, just to give you an idea of what it sounds like, if you've ever been anywhere where there's like lawnmowers, right? And the old school lawnmower, right? Right? That's what the generator sounds like.
That's basically a generator, and it's gonna make you deaf sometimes. It might as well just make you deaf.
Yeah, it can be really loud. And that's if you're lucky enough to have a generator. I've definitely stayed a couple places that don't have generators, so when the light goes out,
it's out.
It's out. Light, and what people say here is lights don't go, lights don't go. We don't get lights, we don't get lights. What I recommend, and what people are starting to do more and more often here, is it's not as environmentally safe as we'd like it to be. There's still some challenges disposing of batteries, but if you do solar, you can have solar panels on your roof. We have 15 hours of sunlight almost all the time. And so that energy gets stored in a battery, and that battery can run all night. So that's if you build your own house, or if you're somewhere that doesn't have a generator, then you can get a battery and get a solar panel, and that would actually work. Maybe a couple solar panels, depending on how much power you use and depending on where you live. But that's another pro tip, is go solar if you want to avoid the sound of generators. All right, number 6 is rainy season. Yes, in West Africa we have 2 seasons, specifically in Ghana and here, that's the only thing I can really speak to. And that is the dry season and rainy season. There really isn't like spring, fall, winter, summer, right? It's just drier or rainy, right? And so the rainy season lasts about 3 months, give or take a little bit more. And it's usually kind of the end of July into like October sometime. When it rains, it's a torrential downpour. So I don't know the equivalent in Europe, but in the US, if you've ever been to Miami, if you've been anywhere in Florida, right, and you get those torrential downpours, or even in the Caribbean, right, you feel those torrential downpours, it rains like that for 3 months.
Okay, first of all, wait. I think you are not really telling people how extreme this rain is.
Okay.
Let me get, because he's been very calm about it.
Yeah.
I describe it as bullet rain. It is a bullet coming down in the most harshest force ever.
A couple things to keep in mind though during the rainy season, right? So like if you're building a house, so I'm in the process of building a house as I mentioned before. My challenge right now is, right, I know I have a window of a certain number of months before the rainy season before I have to shut down all building for another 3 months, right? Because like, for instance, like mixing of cement. We don't have like, depending on who you're paying and who you're working with, you don't have one of those giant machines that does all the mixing. You pour some water in there, you pour some sand or whatever, and it mixes. Usually it's happening right there on the ground. And so when you have a rainy season where you're making blocks, and you know, sometimes those blocks needed like a day or maybe like 8 hours to dry. During the rainy season, it would just completely mess up your blocks. It would obviously mess up the mixtures that you're making with cement as well. Keep in mind that anything you need to have done outside, you don't do during the rainy season.
Just don't do it. So now we are at number 5, and we have street food. I am a foodie. I love food. Like, I love tasting food. I love experimenting with food. And Salone has one of the world's best food. Argue with yourself because you're not arguing with me. I love the street food. I absolutely love it. However, be prepared. I warned you, it can upset your stomach, unfortunately. I know you don't do street food. He's never tried street food, and honestly speaking, like, how can you not try street food?
Okay,
like,
so
we all know Salone like has the best street food.
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one, I never eat street food anywhere, whether my country or anyone else's country. I just don't do it, right? So I've been to India, didn't eat the street food. Been in Europe. The only time I've done it is like I ate crepes outside of the Eiffel Tower. Fine. When I was in New York, I would eat street food after like the clubs. This is like 2009, 2010. But after that, I stopped eating street food for what you just discussed. The thing is it might taste good going down, but it might not be so good coming out, right? And so I prefer not to have those kinds of issues. I don't eat street food. And now that I'm a vegan, there are very rarely options for me anyway, right? Where it's just vegetables. And so for me, I just avoid street food altogether. If I was to have food outside somewhere, and I would recommend for you all, if they're washing the food and it's not cooked, so like if it's like if they give you salad to go along with it, I probably would not do the salad because a lot of times that's rinsed with local water and not like bottled water. And the local water could be a little dirty sometimes if it's not filtered, depending on where they're getting it from, right? Because if this is a street vendor, how are they cleaning their food, right? It's not like if it's at a hotel or something where you have filters and things to filter out the water. Just keep that in mind, right? So, you know, we have strong stomachs and you'll likely survive. You'll be fine. It's just, you know, you may have some challenges a few hours later. So now number 4 is ride sharing. In another video I did with the top 10 things about Ghana, we talked about the fact that there was Uber and Bolt and Yango. Here in Sierra Leone, there aren't very many ride-sharing apps. So there is one called Flash Vehicles. It's actually a local car rental company that decided to go the technology route. Basically, they're like these big SUVs that can drive you around. They're pretty expensive. It's about as expensive as Uber and Lyft like in New York, so higher than maybe like LA. So it's pretty expensive. So I don't recommend doing that. So most people, the mode of transportation here is like kekes, right?
Yeah, I love kekes.
I think in India they call them like rukshaks or something like that, but they're basically like a 3-wheeled bike type thing that has like a covering over top of it. And those things are pretty efficient, they're pretty cheap. It's about 5,000 leones for any normal distance. If you're just going down the street, too far to walk, but too short to like drive, it'll be about 2,000 leones. But in general, it's about 5,000 leones. They'll always quote you 15,000, 30,000 leones because of our accents. Just know each ride in general is about $5.
It's literally like that. Another advice I'll give to people, which is something I do here because I like to leave my family car and use a keke all the time. So what I do is if I've had a pleasant ride, and I feel like the person feels like someone that is quite nice, great customer service, I take their numbers. So then that way it turns into a regular service.
Yeah.
And that way I can like create rapport with them and I feel safe with them. And also one thing I randomly tend to do is, without them knowing, I do take a picture of them and also take a picture of their license plate and their hair, and I send it to like my sister and my mom. So that way if anything were to happen, at least they can find who it was that gave me a ride. So I definitely would say is, you know, find, I would say 3 keke numbers so you can have them around different rotas and then contact them whenever you need one. And that way you feel more safer because you're riding with somebody that you've built a rapport with. So that's something I would say. And we are going to number 3. Okay, number 3 is all about budgeting. And I think I've said in another video, I'm all about budgeting and being intentional about how you're spending your money. Because no matter how rich you are, you can go poor if you have bad money management skills. So being here is, you would assume things are cheaper. You would assume that because of, you know, everything else, you're not spending as much money, but you can easily spend more money a day than you would over there. Because you have to keep in mind, someone helps you, you have to tip them. If random family members come and visit, you have to give them some form of money. Also, when you go to a restaurant, the people who serve you have to tip them, just like how you would in America as well. So all those things add up. And also when you go out, you may want to get your own table. It's very common here, people get tables all the time. You know, very, very common. All the time when you go out, you get a table, wouldn't you? Because, you know what I mean?
So tables here tend to be like $100, $120. So if you have like 10 of you, right, $10 each, 5 of you, $20 each, right? So it's not too expensive. And I actually just did the math wrong, but you can do the math if you guys know what I mean. So it's not that expensive to get a table here. So when you're out at a party or you're out somewhere, you might want to get a table just so you can have your own space and it's not too crowded. You're not in general population. But yeah, I mean, even when you're out on the street, right? Like I said before, it's all cash. And so you want to budget because you don't want to find yourself going back to the ATM over and over and over again. So number 2. So in the last one, we talked about mosquito nets. Mariama did briefly mention mosquito coils. So there are a couple different ways to look at how to deal with mosquitoes here. So if you're a person who like has an outdoor space and you like to sit outside, mosquito coils help to keep bugs away. And then there are bug sprays that you can do that can actually kill them, right? So what I tend to do in the morning before I leave is I actually spray the room with bug spray. And then by the time I come at night, whatever was in there is gone. And also I've been gone long enough that the smell of the bug spray doesn't actually choke me to death because it can really get in your lungs.
And you have to remember, it is a chemical.
It is a chemical, so yeah. So you want to make sure you've like had the room like fumigated for a while. In the same way, like if you've ever had an apartment fumigated, especially you New Yorkers, you know what I mean. You know, you want to make sure you're not there with it still in the air because it is toxic. When I'm out somewhere and I'm sitting somewhere like working, I use mosquito repellent on my skin. So like non-toxic repellent on my skin and a mosquito coil as well. So like it's like double duty. So if they decide that they're not afraid of the mosquito coil and they still come, then as long as you have it on you, then you can keep them away. So I would say apply and reapply, like I said in my last video.
So we are at number 1, the last one, and this one, all right, let's get into it. It's all about water. When you get here, you know, you see a regular
bottled water,
and you're thinking, oh, I know that. That looks familiar. And then somebody will come around and they'll show you this. In most African countries, including Salone, we have bottled water and we have plastic water. So this may come to you as a surprise because I've never seen this in any Western country. In the UK, aside from that. Have you seen this in America?
Not in the US.
But they have it here in most African countries. And at first, I was like, no way am I having that. I am not going to drink that. Give me my bottled water and I'm fine. But I've been here now for like a couple of months now, and guess what? I prefer this. What about you?
Yeah, so me, I am a water bottle kind of guy.
Oh, please.
So I drink these. So like, look at this. See, that's easy too.
Yeah, all I have to do is rip this, and then you just drink it, and that's
it. Okay, so you did say something that was interesting. So she cleans hers off first, right? Most people just bite it and go straight to drinking. I cannot put my mouth on the outside of anything that has sat anywhere outside, right?
But if it's from your house, that's okay.
If it's from your house, it might not be as bad because it's been, but like who knew how it was handled before it got to your house? You know, with this, you have to finish the whole thing because you can't put it down anywhere or else it's gonna spill all over the place. So
okay, have your water.
I'll have mine.
And I'll have mine. And that is the end of the video for you guys.
That's it.
That's it. That's our top 10 things we wish we knew before we came to Sierra Leone.
So, if you like this content, go ahead and comment below. Let us know if you think we missed anything, right? So if there was anything we missed, or if there's anything more you'd like us to discuss, maybe we can do 10 more things, another 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you like this content, or if you have any comments or questions, write them below. And if you do like it, hit that thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and make sure you get notified every time a new video comes out.
And also, don't forget to follow me as well on my YouTube channel. My channel is Mariama Forbes. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, all of that is Mariama Forbes. I'm new to YouTube, so yeah, go ahead, connect with me and follow me in my journey in Africa, Sierra Leone.
Absolutely. And then lastly, of course, share it with your friends. So hit that share button.
Great.
All right, guys. See you all in the next video.
Bye.